What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Wednesday, the old hump day, June 21st, 2023. I'm your host, Joe from the Buckeye Cast, bringing it to you Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do the Rush Hour. Today, we're talking Big Ten win totals. What are the over-unders? I'm going through the entire freaking conference. I'll give you some quick thoughts and then whether I'm taking the over or under on these bets. So start off. Oh, PC, I see you. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So hop in the chat and give me your opinions. Give me your thoughts. Let me know if you got any questions, but I'm going to hop right into it right now and start off with first, I did want to mention before we get going on this topic, Ohio State's walk-on tight end, Zach Herbstreit, son of Kirk Herbstreit, was hospitalized the other day with a heart issue. Don't have a lot of details coming out about that. He's at the James there on campus. Again, not a lot coming out of there, but Kirk did say that Zach has a long journey ahead of him. So forget about football. Just think about the young man. Make sure he's got a good future ahead, a normal future. Obviously football is secondary right now, but thoughts go out to the Herbstreit family. All right. So now let's get into this. I'm going from top to bottom. So we're going to start off with the over-under wins. Buckeyes are at 10.5, obviously starting with the best team in the conference. And right now I'm 10.5 wins. I'll give you the wins. They beat Youngstown State, or Western Kentucky, Notre Dame, Indiana, Maryland, Michigan State, Minnesota, Purdue, Penn State, Wisconsin, Rutgers. I think they beat everybody. I don't have a loss on their schedule. I think this is a 12-0 season. And I hear a lot of talking heads thinking that there's too many question marks about the Buckeyes. A new first-time starter at quarterback, a new play caller probably in Brian Hartline, new offensive coordinator Brian Hartline, the O-line, the tackles are not, set in stone. So Buckeyes are going to be favored in every game. So I'm going with that. And I'm taking the over 10.5. Shocker there, right? All right. Next up, we got Michigan over under 10.5 wins. I got them losing just to the Buckeyes, winning every other game. They were 12-0 in 2022, but that's not happening this year. They won't be challenged until they go on the road to Nebraska in late September. Then in mid-November, they go to Penn State. Those are their tough games. So the over-under at 10.5, I'm taking the over. I think they go 11-1 probably. Penn State up next. Their over-under is 9.5. I have them losing at Ohio State and at home to Michigan. I think they won 11 games last year, right? Yeah. A lot of people like Penn State even more this year. O-line is solid. Defense is nasty as always. I don't know if there's a significant upgrade at quarterback, but I think there's an upgrade with Drew Aller. It's just he's a first-year starter as well. So what do you really know about him? Running game is good, very good. So they also have an easy non-conference schedule. So I think they lose 2, but take the over 9.5 wins. Next up, Wisconsin over under 8.5. I got them. Let's go with the wins here. I got them beating Buffalo at Washington State. They win that at Georgia Southern, at Illinois, at Indiana, Iowa at home, at Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Rutgers, and Purdue. I'm taking the over 8.5 there. First-year coach Luke Fickell. It's completely overhauled the roster. Defense is going to be good. You know that. Offense is greatly improved with a new offensive coordinator. Quarterbacks, they've got a couple to choose from, and then the running back Braylon Allen is all American type. But from the East, they do have to play Ohio State, Indiana, and Rutgers. So the Buckeyes being the toughest game there. So I got 9 or 10 wins for them. So take the over 8.5. Iowa over under 7.5. I got them beating Utah State at home, then at Iowa State, Western Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, Purdue, Minnesota, Northwestern, Rutgers. So I got them winning all those, but they're going to lose at Penn State for sure. And at Wisconsin, I think they're going to lose that game as well. And then at Nebraska, I think they lose that little border skirmish there to the west. So Iowa went 8-5 last year. Will their offense be better? I think it kind of has to be, right? It can't get much worse. Can they hit that monumental 25 points per game number that they're aiming for? They got Caden McNamara, the quarterback, transfer from Michigan. They got the wide receiver Caleb Brown from Ohio State. They won eight games last year without even scoring any points on offense. So I think it has to get better. And they don't lose very often at home. So that's why I'm taking the over. They do have a tough road schedule. Don't forget that, but I'm taking the over 7.5 there. Moving on to Maryland, over under 7 wins. I got them. I got to push. I think they're going to win exactly 7. I think they lose at Michigan State, at Ohio State. They lose to Penn State at home. They lose at Nebraska and at Michigan. They're going to go like 3-0 early on, but the road schedule was brutal. I just read them off right there. And the Big Ten opener against Michigan State will probably tell you how good this team is. Next up, Illinois, over under 6.5 wins. This is a tough one. They won 8 games in 2022, but lost some important pieces in the offseason. They're going to be strong along the offense and defensive line. We know that. But the away games are really going to tell you how the season's going to go. I got them beating Toledo, beating Kansas at Kansas, beating FAU, Nebraska, Indiana, Northwestern, but they're definitely going to lose to Penn State. They could lose at Purdue, at Maryland, possibly. I think they also lose to Wisconsin, no doubt, at Iowa and at Minnesota. So take the under on the 6.5 there. Minnesota, over under 7 wins. I got the under 7 here. I have them losing at Iowa, Michigan, at North Carolina, of course, at Ohio State, at home to Wisconsin, at home to Illinois, and at home to Nebraska. The non-conference has a tough road trip to North Carolina, so that's going to be an L there. From the East, they got a tough draw with Michigan, Ohio State, and Michigan State. So I think their best case scenario is 5 wins, 6 at the most. So I'm taking the under for mini. Nebraska, over under 6 wins. This one's kind of tough. Yeah, a first-time head coach or first year, Matt Rule, he can turn programs around. Can he do it in year 1, though? That's been difficult in the past for him. Hit the portal, transform that team around. Has a quarterback in there he can work with. They made a major upgrade hiring Matt Rule. The schedule is relatively easy, but they do definitely lose at home to Michigan. I also have them losing at Illinois, at Michigan State, and at Wisconsin. The rest of their non-con, they'll go to Colorado and win that game most likely. Nice way to bring that rivalry back with Coach Prime at the helm over there. They'll beat Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, but I'm taking the over 6 there. Purdue, over under 5 wins. Yeah, under 5. How about that? I think their only wins are Fresno State at home, Syracuse at home, Indiana at home, and then going to Northwestern, the worst team in this fucking Big Ten. So they're taking some major losses. New head coach Ryan Walver's taken over for Jeff Brom. He's got a bitch of a schedule in his first year. They get Ohio State and Michigan from the East. Non-conference, he has Va Tech in there, at Va Tech. Syracuse, oh man, they got a brutal 4-game stretch in October. And the road games, like I mentioned, are brutal against Iowa, Nebraska, Michigan. They do have Ohio State at home mixed in there. So I'm going under 5 for the Boilers. Michigan State, over under 4.5. Sounds kind of low for a Sparty team, doesn't it? Well, when you think about what happened, 2021, they went 11-2. Hell of a year. Used the portal to their advantage. Then all those guys left, and Michigan State dropped last year to 5-7. So the green water will find its level, I think. And I think they're going to go over the 4.5, just barely. I got them beating their non-conference schedule, like Central Michigan, Richmond. They'll win those games, but they're going to lose to Washington at home. They're going to go to Iowa, Michigan, at Minnesota, at Ohio State, and then home against Penn State. That does not sound like a lot of winning there. Winding down here, just a couple more. Rutgers over under 4 wins. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these guys. Just assume that we're taking the under there. Fortunately, they have Temple and Wagner on their non-con schedules. So there's a couple dubs, but under 4 is what I'm taking. Indiana, more trash laying around the Big Ten. I'm going under 4 wins there as well. Easy non-con schedule here. And Indiana State at home, Akron at home, but then Louisville comes to town. That's a smack in the nuts. And they're going to take on a lot of water there. So that's it. Under 4. Last but least, Northwestern, over under 3.5 wins. They got a relatively easy non-conference schedule. They'll probably beat UTEP, Howard, and then at Duke. But that's it. I got them under the 3.5. They'll go 3-0 in the non-conference, but it's hard to believe that they won the Big Ten West in 2020. Just guys, and we haven't seen old Fitzy bring them back every other year, like everybody was seeing that pattern every other year. Fitzy's going to be good. Yeah, no, false. So, all right, let me check out the comments here. PC, what's up? Says, so these season win totals, they're always screwy to me. If you look at game by game, they don't always line up. Case in point, last year we were favored to win every game. Yep. Yeah, I know. But we were projected at 1 loss, which came to be true. Yeah. I mean, I get your point. Yeah, they don't really, because they're making these over under win totals before the season starts, they haven't nailed down the spreads for every game, even though Ohio State is favored in every game and will be. We know that, except for the Michigan game this coming year. But I think it really just lets them have a little wiggle room. If they're giving Ohio State 10.5, they're like, they're probably gonna drop one somewhere, one or 2 at the most. So yeah, I get your point though. Yeah, he thinks, PC says that Penn State bites the team up north. Ooh, interesting. That's always a good game, man, no matter where it's at. He says Happy Valley isn't so happy sometimes for visiting teams. No, it's not. That'll probably be a whiteout game. Is that Michigan game at Penn State? Because that will definitely be a whiteout. Let's see. Yeah, Michigan is at Penn State. So that they'll make that a night game for sure. PC asks, which Big Ten team has the toughest non-conference schedule? Ooh, that's a good question. Definitely not Michigan. I can attest to that. I'd say we got Notre Dame. I don't know if anybody has a top 10 team. I know Penn State. No, they got West Virginia, Delaware, UMass. No, Wisconsin at Washington State, maybe-ish. Yeah, Iowa has Iowa State every year. somebody had Washington. Illinois is at Kansas, but then they got Toledo, FAU. You got Louisville going into, was it Purdue? No. Louisville was going to Indiana. That's right. That's kind of tough. But these garbage teams down in the basement of the Big Ten really don't have hard non-conference schedules. Purdue has Fresno State, Syracuse. Nebraska has Colorado, Northern Illinois, La Tech. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if anybody has a tougher game in their non-conference. We got Notre Dame. I don't see another top 10 team in here, you know. Yeah, I'd like to see Nebraska do well. Also, PC. I think they will too. I think that Portal and Luke Fickell's a good coach. We all know that. And like I mentioned, defense is going to be good. Doesn't matter. He's going to take a bunch of 3-stars and make them play out of their minds. Scheme is going to help. He's always been a good defensive coordinator. So if they can get that offense rolling early, I don't see how they're not good. You know, again, I'm taking their over on the win total. I'd like to watch the rock fight between Indiana and Northwestern, but I don't know if they're playing this year. Indiana and Northwestern. I was just looking at that schedule. I got it right here. Northwestern, no, does not play Indiana. Nope. Northwestern has UTEP, Howard, Duke, those 3 non-conference, then Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, at Nebraska, at Rutgers, Minnesota, Penn State, at Wisconsin, and Purdue. So the closest thing you're going to get to a rock fight is probably Northwestern, Iowa. Or if you want to see Indiana, maybe Indiana and Purdue. That's about it. That's right. Last but least. Yeah, I think Notre Dame is the toughest opponent in a non-conference in the Big Ten. So let's see what else is happening. I think Michigan's schedule is so pathetic. It makes me sick. 10.5 wins for Ohio State and Michigan. So mid-November is when Michigan goes to Penn State. That's definitely got to be a whiteout. It's going to be cold as fuck. We used to play Penn State like the end of October, right around Halloween. So I think we're about a week earlier than that this year when they come to Columbus. But yeah, I think I only got 1 loss for or 2 losses for Penn State. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, team up north has been putting up some shit schedules, you know, last couple of years. But they're just following the SEC's blueprint. I mean, they've been doing it for decades, and they got it mapped out perfectly. It's okay, we'll have our tough couple of conference games, but we're gonna play, you know, a cupcake FCS team right before the rivalry game and before bowl season, so we can get healthy and then, you know, be peaking into our rivalry game, which Auburn, Alabama is not really a rivalry anymore. Georgia Tech, I mean, seriously, that's not a game. So I know you got Florida, Georgia, depending on, you know, where that lands on the schedule. Sometimes it's a little earlier, but Sean Duffy, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. He asks, when are we going to see some booms? He says, I hear them, not seeing them. If you hear a boom in the forest, did it actually happen? I don't know. That was stupid. No, they're coming. There was speculation we were going to get one today. PC says, I said it on another channel. Why would you be on another channel, PC? What are you talking about? Heartbroken. He says, if we don't get Scott and West, then something is terribly wrong with our recruiting / visits. That would be catastrophic. I'm going to stand firm on this hill, and I think we get both West and Scott. I'm not backing off of it. I know that we're hearing a lot of BS from the toilet up north, and I think it's all smoke. And I think Oregon is actually a bigger contender for Aaron Scott. He grew up an Oregon fan, had like Oregon sheets or something on his bed, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, PC, I don't appreciate that cheating on me. That's what I say. If you hear a boom, then yes, it did happen. I don't think there's any issue with our recruiting. I think it's coming. We know we got Edric Houston, the D lineman, D edge, and D end out of Buford. KJ Bolden is a tough call though, man. I feel strong. I feel positive, but it's like a 60-40 kind of positive. But the corners, I think we get close to 4 corners. I think we get 4 corners. I think we get Terian Nichols from down in Cincy. I think we get Miles Lockhart from Arizona. And I think we get West and Scott. Legit. It gives us 4 quality corners. Most of them, 3 of them are outside guys. Miles Lockhart is probably more of a slot corner. So at least that's what they're projecting him as, you know. That's what he's been told by the Buckeye coaches. So question is, you know, besides these defensive backs, who else do we get in? I mean, if we can get 3 DNs in this class, that's going to be huge, man, because you're going to lose JT probably for sure. Probably Jack. I think Jack's going to have a good year. He might be weighing by the end of the season, you know, he might be in that first or second round kind of, you know, bridge area where you're like, damn it, I might be a first round depending on who takes me, but, you know, it could be an early second. So if you're end of first, early second, I don't see the difference there. I take the jump if I'm a player. The money is going to be virtually the same. It's not that much of a difference if you're like pick 24 to 32 in the first round or pick 1 through 8 in the second round. It's not a great deal of difference. So you're if you lose 2 DNs there, we think Kenyatta is going to be a stud. I think he is. We haven't seen Amari Abor at all. I mean, he was practicing with the 2s in spring ball. You got Caden Curry. We saw him flash in one game, but he kind of fell off, tapered off throughout the year. I remember Arkansas State was the one he blew up at but that was Arkansas State too. I mean, got to remember that. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how this D-line goes. If Larry can get 3 of these high-end DNs, I'm talking like Dylan Stewart, Edric Houston, and Marquise Lightfoot. I feel really good about Houston and Lightfoot. If he can get Dylan Stewart also, that's huge, man. PC says, I know there's a big difference in dollars in which round, but I think most just want to get there. They're going to go if they can go. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I won't be a bit surprised if we're replacing JT and Jack a year from now. But yeah, if Larry can we got the NIL in order now. So I don't want to hear that excuse from the coaching staff or anybody else that NIL is the reason why we didn't get somebody. The shit is in line. We got the money. Nobody, I mean, there might be a Texas A&M out there that might outbid us, but they can't take everybody, you know. PC says the other two maybe. I think Houston for sure. Yeah, I feel really good about Lightfoot, honestly. I always think that his name sounds like a 70s R&B singer, but he does have, Marquise Lightfoot does have crystal balls to the Buckeyes on 24/7. He's got 3. That's why I feel good about Marquise Lightfoot to the Buckeyes. Wilt Fong put in 1. Alan True, he's a national writer for 24/7, and then Bill Kurlick. That's good enough for me. So yeah, I got both. Dylan Stewart is the outlier there. I'll agree with you there, PC. So let me see if he's got anything going on in the crystal ball world. Don't think he does. Don't think he has any here. Dylan Stewart. 5-star from DC. No crystal balls yet. So let's see what he's got going on this weekend. See who is visiting. Timeline, please. Oh yeah, he has an official visit to South Carolina this weekend. So they must be putting some money together. Yeah, PC says, woohoo, up for Lightfoot. That's right. Gordon Lightfoot. That's right. Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I listen to Gordon Lightfoot every night, every evening. My wife and I have a playlist of kind of adult contempo, and got a little Buffett in there, got some Jim Croce, a lot of Buffett in there actually. But we got some Gordon Lightfoot, songs like Early Morning Rain, Sundown, you better take care. That's a good song. Yeah. Full court press on Dylan Stewart then. Yes, 5-star. If we can land two 5-stars and a 4-star on the D line, I'm feeling really good about that. And don't forget, Marquise Lightfoot is no slouch. You're a tremendous slouch, but he's a 9.627. That's a pretty high 4-star. So virtually 5 4-star DNs. Odysseus, what's up, man? Good to see you. He says, Dylan Raiola going to Buford worries me about getting Houston and Bolden. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Dylan Ravioli. Going on his 4th school, I mean, are people really going to listen to him? Is he going to have that big an impact? I don't know. If you're on his high school team, I guess it depends on how he comes in, how he acts in the locker room. You know, does he keep to himself? Does he try and be part of the team? You know, I know he's a good talent, but does he quickly pick up the offense? You know, that's a question mark. So we'll see. I agree. PC Ravioli is a pain in the ass. But all right, boys, I got to run. So appreciate everybody popping in, and let me know, hit me in the comments if you guys got differing opinions on my over-unders. And tomorrow, what do we have on tap? Oh, we have more position groups, more offers. Oh yeah, Friday got a huge recruiting update story. We had the last Ohio State camp today. That was the 7-on-7 tournament. So then we had camps on Tuesday, and so there's some studs coming into these camps for the 2025 class mostly, but got updates on Elijah Moore, the 2024 four-star wide receiver. We're going to talk Tavian St. Clair, Devin Sanchez, a number one cornerback in the country for 25. So check that out Friday. Tomorrow will be, I think we're going to do defense on the 2025 offers. Yeah. So wait, no, offensive line and tight ends. Sorry. Fucked that up. So we'll finish the offense tomorrow. All right. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you later. Go Bucks. All right. Don't forget, if there are any booms, check it out. I'll have some breaking news, as I like to call them, breaking booms. So talk to you later. Go Bucks.